When it comes to investing and getting out of debt, the most popular question that Jason and I get is, do I have to stop investing in order to get out of debt? All right, Jason, the question is, when people ask you, do I have to stop investing to get out of debt? What do you say?
Well, it is a very popular question, but not the initial question, because people don't want to ask that question because they're afraid of the answer. They're afraid we're going to say, of course, you've got to stop investing so that you can get out of debt. That's what they're afraid the answer is going to be. But I actually surprise them. I ask them a question. I say, what do you feel like you want to do? Right? Again, some of us professionals in these kinds of spaces, we always turn that question around and ask another question. But it's true. We talk about your ideal life all the time. We say, what do you want your life to look like? If you're going to use credit cards, if you're going to be in debt, if you're going to buy a fancy house or fancy car, go on vacations, it's your life. It's not my life. So you do what you want to do. But based on our experience, right, Mike, you and I have taught this for years now, based on our experience, here is the quickest way, here is the best way to do these certain things. So I actually don't say stop. And I think you and I agree on this. We don't say stop investing, but depending on their situation, we would say pausing is probably a better word to use than stopping because it's very hard knowing the numbers about investing and what we've heard and what we've seen to say stop investing. What about you? What is that initial conversation like for you?
I too will share the same sentiments, but I share my story, and I'll share that with you guys today of when I was learning how to handle money wisely, I had a lot of debt, and I was also investing in my 401k with my company. That's in the US. It's a like superannuation in Australia, that kind of thing. It's a retirement based account. And I was told and taught that if I'm doing too many things at once, then nothing gets done, right? I'm trying to pay off debt. I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to go on a holiday. I'm trying to invest in my 401k, and nothing is getting done, right? It was explained to me one time of a light dispersed will light a room, but a focus light, a laser, will cut metal. And I was like, man, that really hit. Okay, what's my focus? My focus right now in this season is to get out of debt. I really, really want to get out of debt. So I was laser focused and I chose to pause investing. And that was the hardest thing that I had done because like Jason said, I knew the numbers, compounding interest over the years. Because again, this was in my early 20s. I had 40 years of this money to compound. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be so hard. I don't want to do that. But I wasn't making the progress. And two things happened. One, when I paused or stopped investing, I had more money to put towards the debt, but the momentum and the motivation to really kick it into higher gear to get back to investing, that I didn't see coming, right? So I got another job. I got two more jobs on top of my full-time job to get out of debt to really start investing. So instead of investing $100 a month, I got on up to 500, 800. At one point, I was doing $1,000 a month investing, but that was only after I became debt free and had a fully funded emergency fund. So that's my story. Hi, friend. We'll get back to the episode in 1 second, but we want to give you a free gift for joining us today. It's a three-part free workshop where you get to learn how to get a 10% raise without doing more work. Then we're going to teach you what to do with that extra money. Because the end goal is for you to start living your ideal life years, if not decades sooner. So, do you need to get out of debt? Do you want to spend more on the life that you want to live? Or maybe you want to invest that extra income. All of these things are in this free workshop. Just go to sentinelcoaching.com/raise. That's sentinelcoaching.com/raise. Now back to the episode.
I've got something, pretty similar. It's, knowing the numbers, doing the math, being in my 20s, having a decent job with a retirement plan, right? I put money in there because I wanted it to grow. I wanted to save for my retirement. But I had debt similar to you. And I was in my 20s. I was like, gosh, if I can get out of debt, I can have more money to invest. So I didn't stop my investing or even pause my investing at first. I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. I can pay off debt really quickly and save. And I did that whole light thing where you're talking about. I'm doing multiple things. But then when I kept crunching the numbers, it was like, wait a second. It's going to take me an extra year to get out of debt if I continued my retirement investing. And so I was really debating back and forth for multiple months of should I stop this investing? What if I stop and then I never start again? What if I get used to having more money and I want to spend it? Like I had all these, thoughts in my head of like, well, maybe I never will start again, and that fear would cause me to be broke forever. But it was truly just like me wrestling with myself. But eventually I was like, you know what? I just got to get laser focused and I just got to get out of debt. But you have to decide, right? Mike says this all the time. You say this all the time. You've got to decide that you're done with debt. You've got to decide, okay, I'm getting out. I'm going to put all my resources toward this. I mean, that I can, right? I'm not going to starve to death, but I'm going to put all the resources I can toward getting out of debt. And then, you know what? You have more money to invest. So you can double and even triple and quadruple sometimes the amount that you go into your investments. So I ended up that pulling that plug and saying, I'm going to pause this, right? And I had to tell myself, I'm not stopping it, I'm pausing it. So I did. And like 6 months later, I was out of debt and I was able to restart that investment. And it was, again, for me as well, the hardest thing that I had to do, as you can hear, because I was wrestling with myself of whether or not I should, stop that investing to put that money toward the debt. So if you're in debt, if you're watching this, you're listening to this, you're in debt, you have to decide what is most important for you right now. And again, it's not our lives, it's your life. So if getting out of debt is important, then put your resources toward that. If investing is important, put your resources toward that. But you have to decide. If you're doing too many things, it's true. You're going to do everything mediocre and everything, and you probably won't even make that much progress on any of it because you're too split, right? So you have to decide what do you want to do, create that priority list and get going. And then commit to yourself, commit to us, commit to family, commit to somebody else. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. And that's how you actually make progress in these areas.
I agree. I think whoever's listening or watching this, please comment below in the podcast or the YouTube video of are you committed? Just write the word commit, commit. And that commits to us, that commits to you. And we'll check in with you in months and maybe even 1 year from now to see what you committed to and like how that commitment went. It's important. And I don't think I need to say anything more than that on this subject.
Hmm. Yeah, I actually have one more thing. Like, depending on your situation, do some math, do some simple math, and reach out to us if you want. We can help you do some of this math. Find out, okay, if I don't stop or pause my investing and I'm doing both, how long will it take me to get out of debt? Right? You got to do your budgeting, right? You got to know what your numbers are, but how long will it take in your situation? And then do another calculation that says if I pause my investing and I put that resource toward my debt, how much faster can I get out? If it's a matter of a couple of months, that's probably not uh, worth it to you to do the paperwork, to fill out all the kind of things to pause your investments. But if it's going to save you a year, like it did me, that might be worth it to you. If it's going to save you multiple years, like most of you are probably in that situation, then it definitely is going to be worth it to save a couple of years of headache, couple of years of invest of in interest. It's I like Mike says it all the time. I say it all the time. Like being out of debt, there's no greater feeling to know that you don't owe anybody anything and that you can do whatever you want with your finances and your money. So, with that, again, comment below, like, subscribe, and check out our other stuff. And we'll see you on another video.